My divorce was so messy. It was a 5-year divorce and it got really messy, and in the public, that was a moment in between my notes, right? And what I did in the space in between was so important for how it was going to show up next. Kenny Rogers says, you want to know when it's a moment and know when it's a space in between, and what are you doing with the space in between? So for example, my divorce was so messy. I had one of the worst divorces I know of. It was a 5-year divorce and it got really messy and in the public, and people were opening gyms and talking so much shit, and that was a moment in between my notes, right? So it was my marriage and then whatever's that next chapter, which was all this. And what I did in the space in between was so important for how it was going to show up next. I could have engaged in all the trash talk and not been conscious. In my head, I was like, Jolie, just be conscious, come from a place of love, do the next best right thing. Simon, that's what I told you today. When you get overwhelmed and you're like, I have so much to da-da-da-da, what's the next best right thing? That's it. Just think one thing. What can I do right now to move the needle forward? And don't think of another thing after that. Because you don't want to, you want to say like, let me call 5 people about my job and tell them I'm quitting and see if they have anything else. You want to just do that one thing that will move the needle forward. They have in Atomic Habits, they say do a habit, do something for 5 minutes, and then it'll make you do it for longer, right? It's that 5-minute thing. So just, what's the next best thing? So in my divorce, my moments between the notes, my moment between, I was so good, I was so conscious, I did the right thing, that then I got to have all the fruit of my labor, everything. My divorce ended up through the trash, through the nightmare, through everything I had to go through, which I couldn't imagine life was happening for me, not to me, because I was bartending to pay lawyers in sleaze bar clubs. It was not a fun divorce. And getting the result of staying conscious, not talking shit, you can't see it, right? I always tell you about the delay, but the fruit is amazing. Everything I got as a result of being conscious was wonderful. When I took over the gym, everyone was hating me. He was giving out like, oh, if you buy 10 passes, you get free gloves. If you get a membership, another person comes free. So I was like the nightmare bitch taking over the gym that everyone was like hating because I was changing it all up. So I had to just work really fast and do everything I knew was right. I knew a gym was a revolving door. So I had to stick to my gun. All these people will be gone. A whole new group will come in. And I had to stick to my gun, to the integrity of the brand, right? I always say the jails are full because people are treated unfair. And then I taught in prison, right? And I always defended criminals because I feel like they were treated unfairly. So I was not saying you pay, that's why everyone pays the same, or you get locked in. I don't go like, you pay this and you pay this, because then here she'll be happy and I piss you all off. So integrity is so important. Treating everybody the same is so important. I'm not going to give you a discount because you looked good today and you not tomorrow. Then I piss you all off. So this is what it is. This is the price. And for some reason, people go to gyms, it's like a car salesman. Like, oh, what can I get instead? Because Crunch and Equinox, and they all knock it down. So I was like, we're not Crunch, we're not Equinox. I could raise it just to show you I'll lower it. But this is what it is. I had to keep sticking to the integrity of the brand to build the integrity of how I wanted people to portray it and receive it. That it's fair, that they love it, that I'm delivering value, that no matter how much it was, they got the value in exchange. So moments between the notes, so important. I tattooed it on me. To recognize when you're in a moment, when you're in between, if you should surrender, if you should be intentional, if it's time to rest, if it's time to move. Like, how do you know, right? Like Alicia said that time, like, oh, I was supposed to go to work, I was so tired, but I came here, because if I didn't come here, then she wasn't gonna do 2 things that weren't good. So she has to realize, like, okay, let me grin and bear it, because I'm gonna do this one thing, because I don't wanna do like 2 things I didn't do that I said I was gonna do. So you don't wanna stack those things. So you gotta be very aware, and it's in the slowing down and in the reflecting. Evaluation is the highest level of learning. So who asked me? You asked me with the worthiness, and I said, what did I do today that would make me feel worthy? What could I do tomorrow that would make me feel worthy? Who said I'm not worthy? What did I do that made me feel unworthy, right? You wanna ask yourself questions so you can prove yourself a liar. You're not unworthy. You want to be like, that's ridiculous, I just said that. Like with me, it's like I'm never enough. I never did enough. And then I'm like, did enough for who? And then all my little fans, right? We have all our little fans. Everybody has their fans of their friends that says like, oh, it's nice, you did enough, it's okay. And then who's the right one? Is it your friends are the right one that you did enough, or are you the right one that you didn't do enough? Ultimately, the right one is the one that's empowering you to take the next step and move forward. So you definitely don't want to, in Landmark we say there's never, ever, ever a reason to have a disempowering context in your head. Ever a reason. So I am like the worst in my workouts, right? I'm like gonna be handicapped, I'm gonna be crippled, I suck, I'm the worst, I can't believe I'm a gym owner, I'm an imposter. My head gets crazy when I'm working out, and then I have to like set myself straight. I have to look in the mirror and go, Jolie, you're fit, Jolie, you've arrived, Jolie, you're better than your role models as a kid. I have to like then patch it up with myself. So, but that's okay, because whatever works to make me feel good and be the next best step to move me forward, because I'm breaking myself down every day I work out, right, Simon? But that's the nature of an athlete. An athlete always wants more, always wants to do more, always wants to be faster, better, stronger, longer, always. So it's never good enough. But how do we settle into that generous, sweet spot? Another book I'm gonna write, front of the hand, back of the hand, how to get to the space in between. How do you be satisfied, you're unsatisfied? How do you sit in that space where you're not disempowered, you're unsatisfied, you're empowered, you're unsatisfied, and you're gonna keep moving forward to be more satisfied, right? You could be unsatisfied and be empowered, like now you want more. Or you could be unsatisfied and be disempowered, right? You wanna be the empowered one. You wanna be the one that's propelling you forward. Don't let your dreams die with you. Honor yourself, own your power, be fully self-expressive, make the most of every moment. That's the main thing I teach you guys. So when you guys are realizing like, oh, I'm speaking up, or oh, I said this to my boss, that's the main thing I teach, is how to be fully self-expressed and own your own power. How to come from love and create the win-win. How to speak up, because if you don't speak up, it's dead. Nobody knows anything. You have to put your words into reality. So you use your words, and then you speak up, and then you think like, how do I say this in a way where I can make a difference? It can land on them and I can make an impact. I can come from love. I can be heard. I was in the ashram. I think I told you guys this, and the lady, didn't I tell you that she said they showed up 20 minutes late? Right, and the lady was like, oh, it's relax. And I was like, relax is an integrity. And I thought I was rude. So I was like, okay, Jolie, just calm down. Like, I needed to say what I needed to say as tactfully as I needed to say it, but I was not taking it. So I was not gonna stay quiet. And it's very rare I will ever stay quiet. I don't want any of you to stay quiet. I want you always to speak up, own your power, and if you're thinking of it, say it in the best way possible that can honor you and honor them. So they're like, damn, she owns her power. Okay, good. Okay, we'll know next time. People aren't gonna cross you then. They're gonna go, okay, she spoke up. Okay, she said what she needed. People get jealous of that. That's something that people want. They want that power. Make sure you like this video, and if you really like it, share it with others and comment below, because your comments will generate new content for me to do more videos. So ask great questions and I'll give you great answers. And make sure you subscribe and click the button below, and make sure to click on notifications so you get notified every time I have a new video.